Okay, folks, I think we will get started. My name is Dr. Natalie Barnett. I am the VP of Clinical Research here at Nanit. And our webinar today is going to be AI-powered parenting, how technology is revolutionizing parenting. And we're joined by three amazing people who are going to be giving us all sorts of interesting and great information on AI and parenting. So first of all, we have Tor Ivry, who is the co-founder and CTO of Nanit. Tor and I have worked together for many years, and he's truly one of the most amazing people in the world, and I'm very grateful to work with him every day. We also have Sam Hazak, who is our AI Senior Product Manager here at Nanit. Sam is the dad of one. I forgot to say Tor is the dad of three. I'm the mum of three. Sam is the dad of one, and is, one of our, most really one of our most amazing employees. We also have Michael Perry joining us today from Maple. Michael is the founder and CEO of Maple. So we're super excited to have Michael joining us today. I hope everyone has filled out the poll, which is fantastic. We are going to be answering questions towards the end. So if you wanted to use the Q&A section to put your questions in, that would be fantastic. And as part of this session, for registering for this session, every one of you is going to get a 3-month subscription to Maple Plus, which is really incredibly generous of Michael to be giving everyone that. And then one winner is going to be getting a Nanit sound and light machine, and that's going to be announced at the end of the session. Plus, there's also a grand prize giveaway that will be announced at the end of the week as part of our Parent Like a Pro series. So you can check the chat for details on both of those giveaways. So I would like to actually just hand it over to each of the panelists to give themselves a brief introduction. I know I sort of introduced them quickly, but I would love each of them to say a little bit about themselves and their roles and perhaps a little bit about their parenting journey as well. So Tor, let's hand it off to you.
Thanks, Natalie, and great to be here. Hi everyone. I'm Tor. I'm Nanit founder and CTO. I've been working in engineering and technology for more than 20 years, mostly dealing with computer vision and things that today are called AI, but mostly for solving real life problems in many domains like health and semiconductors, and in the last 10 years here at Nanit. I'm a proud husband and father of 2 junior high boys and 1 9-year-old girl that has been one of the first 2 users of Nanit.
Amazing. Yeah. So, Sam, how about you?
Hi, great to be here, everyone. I'm Sam Hazak. I'm an AI engineer by profession. I've been working in the technology field for the last decade, mostly on AI-related things, from autonomous vehicles to recommendation engines, etc. I'm a father to an hurricane, 2 years old, that we call Daniel. And actually everything that we develop here at in the health and wellness pod that I lead is somehow tightly related to the parenting journey I go with Daniel. So basically, we develop features for me.
Thanks, Sam.
Smart.
And Michael, how about you?
Yeah, my name is, well, first of all, thank you for having me. Like, this is a true honor to get to be up here with these guys. I'm a father, first and foremost, I'm a father of 2 sons that I'm incredibly proud of, a 4.5, soon to be 5-year-old boy and a 2.5-year-old boy. I live here in Sandbar with my wife and my family. I, like Thor, have been, I guess, almost sadly in this world for way too long, it feels like some days, but 20-ish years building technology. I grew up working in small family businesses. I grew up believing family is your #1 currency and priority, and really thought that my life was going to be a life of servitude for small business owners. My last company that I built was actually a really special company. It was an AI virtual employee that small business owners would text message with to handle and do all their marketing for them. I sold that company in 2016 to Shopify. While I was at Shopify, I oversaw the company's entire marketing technology investments and all of our AI and machine learning investments, really trying to help small business owners through machine intelligent recommendations, guide them outside the domain knowledge of marketing that they typically do not have, identify the right products and the right platforms and the right price they should be marketing their products for the highest return. While I was at Shopify, I myself became a parent. It was a long journey. Both of my sons were born by way of in vitro fertilization, and now my wife and I are very active in the IVF community and have participated heavily philanthropically with the advancements of IVF. Any parents that are out here, they're on an IVF journey, I applaud you. Any parents thinking they need to go through the IVF journey, my email is available to support you. But in the process of becoming a father, I really recognized that there had been a huge gap from a software perspective to allow for you to do your life's work. And I had spent the last 15 years building technology to help make entrepreneurship more achievable. And I just wanted to pivot my life and my servitude to help parents not just like make it easier, but just simply make it manageable in today's world to be the best parent, best husband, wife, mother, father, daughter, sister, just be the best version of yourself possible while doing your life's work. And Maple is now a 3-year-old company. We haven't been around as long as Nanit, but I'm also a customer of Nanit. And we now have had over 100,000 downloads in 3 years. We're available in 7 different countries. As I shared earlier to my fellow panelists on this call, we just announced our partnership with Instacart today. And we have a very, very big AI product announcement next week. So I'm excited to be here to share that.
It's very exciting. And Michael, for folks out there who don't know, can you tell us a little bit about exactly what Maple does?
Yeah. I think the one thing that we really kind of identified, and I'm sure everyone's answer to this would be a lot different, but we've contemplated for a long time, why is parenting so insanely hard? We've identified 4 spheres of what makes parenting incredibly hard outside of the constant stress of trying to keep your children alive. And one of the hardest parts about parenting, specifically in today's world where you have 8 out of 10 parents or 8 out of 10 households have dual working parents and 60 million parents in the workforce, is simply trying to stay organized and managing your home with the 17,000 moving pieces is undauntingly hard. And what people have done historically is that people have been trying to leverage the technology that's available, but the customer has been for enterprise. What Maple did was we built a company where the only customer is parents, and our entire roadmap is to solve problem for parents. So we offer 9 apps on our platform today, from the most robust color-coded calendaring system to to-dos, shopping lists. Our shopping list is now powered by Instacart so that you can buy groceries directly in Maple through Instacart. We offer an expense sheet if you want to collaborate with your partner on finances, but we offer a suite of tools that we believe make it achievable to be organized. And next week we offer a feature that make it the fastest way on earth to be organized. And so we have a really exciting kind of horizon ahead, and we believe that the world of parenting is going to get at least one of those spheres significantly easier.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love it. And I think we at Nanit are very aligned with a similar mission that, we want to be supporting this journey of parenting and making it enjoyable and, making it more manageable for folks. And so that sort of brings us to sort of our, topic of the day, which is, AI powered parenting. And look, and we are hearing a lot more about AI in the last couple of years, but at Nanit, our foundation has been in AI, and we've been, talking about AI for many, many, many years. And so I'm wondering, Tor, if you could I just want to sort of do a little bit of a deep dive where people talk a lot about generative AI or, predictive AI, and sort of understanding the differences between the two. So Tor, can you tell us a little bit about what is predictive AI? And then Michael, I'm going to let you tell us a little bit more about generative AI.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So basically, predictive AI is looking at data over time And based on historical data and pattern matching, it will try to predict what will come next. So just like a very simple example, let's say you're trying to manage the family budget, like talking about Michael's world, like you're trying to manage the family budget for a month. You're looking on previous months, and based on how much you spent in the first week, you can predict how the month is going to look like. At Nanit, we're applying predictive analytics or predictive AI to use historical sleep data to predict things like your sleep schedule or whether or not your baby is able or capable to fall asleep on their own. So I think this is like the main, the kind of predictive AI is as strong as the data it learns, like many other AI systems. So the more data it will use to kind of train the model, the better it will become. But this is also kind of the area where if you have a very unique case of like that the model didn't see before, it can provide some nonsensical results. And so the challenge is to really kind of bring a more robust data and also kind of train it over time so it kind of adapt to the trends in the data.
Yeah, and one of the amazing things that we have going for us is that, you know, we have, you know, more data on, you know, infant sleep than anyone in the world. So we have, you know, these very large, robust data sets that we're able to pull from and train on. So we're very, you know, we're incredibly lucky in that respect. So Michael, can you tell us a little bit about generative AI?
Yeah, super popular thing right now in technology, obviously, and excited to get to share it. You know, obviously think that to Tor's part, like there's, I think, historically been three ways of thinking about AI. One is obviously predictive. It's been critical without consumers even realizing it for the last 10 years. Like the reason why we've been able to protect credit card information and fraud and everything else. So AI has been in the world for a long time, and it's improved our lives significantly, people even realizing it. Generative AI, I think the easiest way of breaking it down is that, you know, what makes software special, technology special, is that we are living through the most efficient era of productivity in humankind.
Yep.
And we now have the tools at our disposal to go online and do research. We have the spreadsheets at our disposal to do all the budgeting. We have everything at our disposal from a software perspective to get organized. The tools are there. Where generative AI actually becomes fascinating, and specifically in the case of parents who struggle with having enough time in the day, is that the software will actually do that lift for you. So instead of you having to do the research and write a paper on the camping trip you want to take your kids on to, you know, Halama, California, you can start having generative AI put together an itinerary for that camping trip. Instead of like creating a packing list or producing a photo, there's now AI pushing the boundaries of creating video content, voice content. So generative AI is actually now using the tools and the information on our behalf. And I think that that's a really exciting era. And when used in the right way, it's going to produce a new streamline of efficiency and creation for professionals in the workforce, but also parents at home who are doing their hardest job on earth.
Yeah,
I think what's nice about it, I like to think about it as now AI can start dream. Like AI can dream.
Yeah.
So it starts to create something that wasn't before. So it's a really cool thing to look at it. So from what Tor explained, from the first perspective is like teaching a child, giving him information, so he adapts and learns. But now giving the child the capability to dream, to build something from scratch, which is an amazing thing.
it really is. So Sam, to that point, can you tell us a little bit about how parents can be harnessing AI and what kinds of decisions it can really help parents make?
Wow, like I'm a complete geek in that aspect. So I'm a geek of home automations and making everything automated and making everything work all together. And it makes my life so much easier to be able to open the blinds and close everything together. But focusing on AI specifically, when thinking about the ChatGPTs, for example, I took ChatGPTs to a different level where I consult with the ChatGPT I built to, which an easy thing to do with the common tools we have today, to help me decide on dinners I can make with Danielle, depending on the food I have today in the fridge. So I guess, so let's say I have chicken, I have this vegetables and these sauces, and I ask, okay, I have these, what can I make with Daniel that he can help me do? So I can use all these kind of like help me create games with the things that I have. And it really gives me all kinds of cute suggestions I didn't think about before. And it collects data from different books or different things that I give it. And I don't have the time to read everything, but it gives me that cool summary that I can use. And even sometimes I'm trying to make it think like a child and ask for funny things or funny stories that I can tell. So it's really nice interaction with those.
Amazing.
I think it's probably one of my favorite questions nowadays, like to come to parents and ask them how do they use like AI like as part of their kind of family and home. So like some nice ideas I've been hearing is like one of our guys is using ChatGPT to create bedtime stories for his daughter, and someone else kind of use the AI to build coloring books for his daughter. So every time like it's a new coloring picture that he prints and then she can use. It's really, really nice stuff. Like also for menu, as Sam suggested, like really interesting ideas, but it's really only kind of bounded by creativity of the parents.
Yeah.
This is the nice thing about it. And I think it's also like to just like close this idea, many people are kind of concerned about AI taking over the workforce. I think it's not about taking over jobs. It's more about changing jobs to be more productive, as Michael mentioned before. Like, how can we do more with our time and our using like the AI tools to just do other things and focus on other things.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yes, I agree. And so, Michael, tell us about any companies, or Tor or Michael, tell us about any companies that really stand out to you as, you know, doing a great job in using their AI.
Well, you know, well, first of all, I mean, I'm going to assume we're not talking about OpenAI or Adobe or any of the people building the models are really advancing. Just like I think you're talking about people who've been integrating.
Yep.
I think there's two things. One, and I don't want to overly put so much light on my own company, but there's some stuff we're doing that I'm, as a parent, really excited about. The one thing that I feel, this is going to sound almost bizarre, but I think part of becoming a parent with a lot of young parents is that you do have to make some softer sacrifices if you want to, you know, spend a ton of time with your kids, right? There's a sacrifice with that. One of the things I had to give up at the end of the day between building a company and and having a young family was I really lost the ability to read a lot. I am an avid reader and like would read lots of books and read lots of articles. And that's just so time consuming. And at the end of the day, you're so tired that I'd be 2 pages in and I'm falling asleep in my bed. There's one app called Artifact. It's a news app. I use it every single day. And it summarizes every single article inside of the app. And so I can at least now power read news and things that I'm actually interested in and distill everything down to 3 bullet points. And I know that that's not an app and a technology that's directly associated to care as of right now, but I think that part of it is that OpenAI, AI as a whole, or generative AI as a whole, and the advancement of where technology is going is actually, to everyone's point on this conversation, it should give us a new allotment of time bank that we otherwise did not have. And so one of the larger pleasures in my life has been reading, and it's been absent for 4 years. And now I'm on like day 40 something in a row of using this app to read 10 different articles a night. And just that guilty pleasure of just like reclaiming normality has been something I've really enjoyed as a parent. And I'm super excited about that.
Oh, that's amazing. Tor, how about you? What are your favorite AI tools? other than ChatGPT?
So it's not really like I'll take a similar angle to Michael, like not focusing on the obvious, and I think I'm very excited about what AI is going to do to health and medical
Oh yeah.
in
Yeah.
general. Like DeepMind, what they do, like with AlphaFold, like really predicting how proteins can look, and then like designing medicine based on that. This is kind of crazy, and like companies that are using CRISPR, which is like a tool to really edit DNA. Crazy stuff. Like it's unbelievable the world we're living in, and other companies that are using, you know, computerized tomography images and predicting and analyzing and diagnosis based on that. Really interesting what's going on there, and I think it's going to really improve the quality of care and
Yeah.
velocity of care.
Absolutely I hope and think that you're right. And just, but on that point, I think even just, I don't mean to talk too much about Nanit, but one of the things that I'm, the most proud of that we've been able to do is to really accelerate the pace of pediatric sleep research. So we work with universities and researchers all over the world who are either using Nanit data or using our cameras in their research. And what we have been able to observe over the last few years is just this incredible increase in the research work that is coming out, because previously where researchers would have to put an actigraph on a baby's ankle and then move that actigraph from one baby to the next baby, 3 weeks later, and then collect survey responses from that first baby's parents and then the second baby's parents, so that the parent could, so that the researcher could perhaps, present data on, 30 babies over a year. Those same researchers can now present data on 1,000 babies in a day, right? So where we have the capacity to help scale this research, which is only going to mean that, to Tor's point, we can, help aid these, these discoveries, and make things just happen that much faster. So that's, to me, that's one of the most exciting things that I can see, is that just being able to, to scale research in a way that just has not been done before, I think is very exciting for us.
So maybe Sam, can you tell us a bit about like how are we using like some of the very interesting features, like for instance the milestones that we just launched last year?
Sure. So I'll fix my camera for a moment. Yes. So Nanit knows everything that goes into the crib. So we know where the baby is. We know where the crib is. We can look at the baby's position. We can detect his head, his body, his posture. And because we have all this information, we can now detect specific events that happens in the crib. So, for example, we have all kinds of developmental milestones that are important to happen in the specific age. So, if the baby is rolling over, or sitting, or standing, or pulling on all fours, so we now are able to detect that and tell the parents, "Yay, your baby has achieved this milestone," and now you can see it in a cute video in the app. But this is also supporting a lot of research, because we can use this system and give it to researchers to see when milestones are happening and what's going on inside the crib. So this is one part of it. The second part of it is also the head and body positions. We know a lot of things about how babies are sleeping during the night, so we can quantify how much time the babies are sleeping on their backs or on their sides, on which sides, or on their belly, and for what position is their head. So we can help parents get these statistics, and this can help us also in research regarding torticollis or kind of other things that we can research with these data. So these data points are amazing and are probably unique only to Nanit with the amount of babies that we have.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, Sam. I'm wondering also too, Sam, if you could touch on our breathing motion monitoring feature as well.
Yes, like the breathing motion monitoring is a very cool feature because it involves only computer vision, no electronics, nothing radiating or connected to the baby or needs any battery changes or whatever. It actually leverages the camera that sits above the crib, and the camera looks at the crib, and if you take your baby, you put the breathing wear that we have, the swallow or the breathing bed or the PJs, and you put the baby inside the crib. Now the camera can detect the motion of the chest elevating on the baby, and actually count exactly how many times it sees the chest movement. And the system will alert the user if it sees any abnormality in this number. And for me, I'll take it to my personal level. I've seen all kinds of interesting things because in the dashboard, in the Nanit dashboard, we give you also statistics about the breathing motion monitoring. I can see the statistics of how much BPM Daniel has through the nights in a weekly or monthly basis. For me, specifically for me, and I cannot say that for any other babies, but I heard for other parents saying that as well, that when Daniel is developing a fever, I can see it in his breathing motion monitoring. It's something
Can you tell us what you noticed, Sam?
I noticed that, for example, most of the time is like 28 BPM. In normal nights, 28 BPM with a low of 25 and a high of 30. And we start to develop a fever, I see somewhere around 35 around or 40. And then I say, oh, okay, maybe I should go and see what's going on inside the crib. So what's amazing about all this data, we have tons of this kind of data points that you can use. I call it parenting 2.0 because it helps you really understand what's going on inside the crib. I'm as Michael said, I'm a working father. I don't have a lot of time. I'm trying to be at home as much as possible. But when I have this capability to really learn and see what happened throughout other nights, throughout this night, when he woke up, when he went to bed, and all this data around it with the graphs inside the Nanit, suddenly I got this intuitive insights that I can use.
Yeah. And I just wanted to, Sam, and I just wanted you to touch on another new feature, if you could quickly. And I just wanted you to talk a little bit about cry detection, because I think it's a really cool feature, and I would love everyone to hear a little more about it and how you developed it and why you developed it.
Yeah, so now we're trying to like adapt to the different areas that you might be concerned about. So peace of mind is really, really important for us. And I'm sorry for checking in the camera all the time. So we know that sometimes you want different notifications based on different scenarios. So our camera is listening locally, only listening to the what's going on inside the room, and can give you two different types of the notifications. One is just a sound notification for every big noise that you can define the sensitivity. And it will just send you a notification to your phone, and the cry detection notification, which will send you a notification when your baby is crying and needs you. It'll just get a put this notification to your phone.
But just to clarify, we're differentiating between a cry and other sounds that might be coming from the crib, right?
True,
So if a baby
true.
is perhaps babbling or chatting to themselves,
Yes.
or something else, you know, we can distinguish between those different sounds, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, so you'll need to go to the crib when you are really needed, because you know your baby best, and you know sometimes you might do a lot of noise in the crib. Sometimes when he cries, you want to get to the bed. We have a new feature that's for example, baby standing. So sometimes until your baby is starting to stand, you don't want to even reach to the crib because he's talking, he is doing all kinds of stuff. So he's awake, he might go back to sleep. But when he stands up, you want to know, and you want to go and you want to go to the room and check what's going on. So for me, for example, you know, when I have a 2 years old, I want to go to the crib only when he stands. If he's not standing and he's mumbling, he might go back to sleep or not. When he stands, let me know.
So standing for you, or if it's standing for Daniel, is kind of an indication that it's the start of the day, or that
Yes,
he's
exactly.
awake and he's ready to go. He's not trying to get himself back to sleep.
exactly. And all the notifications are coming in into my smartwatch. So I'm just, hey, okay, he's standing. I'm cutting something in the kitchen. I'm getting prepared for my day. And oh, okay, he's standing. Go to the room, get him out before he tries to crawl out of the crib or doing something.
I love it. Great. So Michael, I've got another question for you. Can you tell us what you think is going to be the future of AI in parenting? And what are the opportunities out there?
I can at least share with you the role I think we're going to play. I mean, I think obviously this call has highlighted a lot of things. AI will be in every fabric of parenting, right? I mean, the work that Nanit is doing from, visual learning and helping parents make better decisions about breathing, heart rate monitoring, all that kind of stuff, down to personalized care over time. Everyone knows the most stressful thing on earth is taking your child to the doctors or the hospitals under a difficult situation. So health care, all that is going to be massively impacted in a very positive way. The other area that I personally think is probably the most important as our kids get older is there's a tremendous amount of data and study on the role AI could play with suicide prevention and bullying and all that world of social media that has just been dragging society down. And so I'm incredibly optimistic about the gatekeeping we can put in terms of just general safety for our children. And then in the case of Maple, and I think that the world at large, is that at the end of the day, we're still a productive society, right? We still go to jobs. We're still trying to balance life. And, when you look at something, the direction where we're going, there's been a couple examples of how parents are already using ChatGPT, but we've built 9 micro apps on our platform. Each of those apps are soon going to be AI enabled in 7 days. So we're going to be the largest suite of AI technology available to parents that on command can put together a meal plan for you, on command can plan a birthday party for you, on command can do research for you, shape to-dos for you, pack your bag. Like the investment we've made over the past couple months, we wholeheartedly believe we're the fastest tool in the world to get organized. But the step that we're trying to directionally take is the same way you guys have sleeping data to better help parents make decisions. We have access to the workflows, and we have access to the calendar, and we have access to a whole nother layer of information that we want to move the world past asking for AI to do something and for AI to get more to a general state to make those decisions on your behalf, help you optimize your meal plan for the week, help you optimize your calendar, help you optimize your workflows. Notice that you're going on a field trip in 7 days, know the location, and help you assemble a checklist of things you might need to pack before you're even thinking about getting there. And so I think we're ushering into an incredibly exciting chapter where we can try to return time back to parents to spend with their kids, and we can try to provide parents with information to feel better about their kids. That's the future of AI and parenting. Is you have the information to make the right decision, you have the time to spend with your children. And I couldn't be more excited for that as a parent. And as a technologist, I feel very fortunate, probably the same way everyone else on this call feels, to be one of the many companies participating in moving that needle forward.
Yes, I love it.
Exactly, Michael. Like I agree with your last point about like getting our time back to spend more time with our kids. This is exactly where I think AI and not just kids, right? Like AI will take all the
Your partner.
boring, mundane things, and we can spend more time on doing the things that actually thrill us and makes us more creative and happy. So
Exactly.
like I think that the future really looks bright in that sense. And companies like Maple and Nanit are going to be there to help build that. I have a bit older kids, so I will refer to what you just said. I think one of the issues of this world nowadays is about like all the social networks and things with information when things are getting drawn to the extremes.
Yes.
One of my challenges as a parent to kind of teenagers is how to explain complexities, right? Like how to explain that people with different opinions and this is all okay. Like we can all have different perspectives about reality. And I really hope that AI can help with those things, like identifying fake versus real, and identifying what is and how to kind of create a more holistic view of the reality. And my final note would be that I really hope that in 20 years people will sit in a similar forum and parents will still kind of know that it's still their responsibility to parent and not just rely on AI tools to do their job.
I think what you just said is so absurdly important, because I think one of my larger concerns in the world, like at the end of the day, I don't think people should outsource 99% of parenting. I think your kids still want you to show up and care and love them and sit down and have conversations with them. I think that what we're trying to get to, I think, is, at least at Maple, I can't speak for, I mean, there's so many people at play, but I think the world has gone to such an extremity that we've lost some sense of reality, and most people live an unbalanced life. And that creates so much resentment, right? Most people want to spend time with their kids. Most people want to watch their children grow up. And we're now working 60, 70, 80-hour-week jobs and taking our kids to 17,000 different activities. And it's just, it's very hard to be a parent in today's world. And so this might be one of the unique opportunities where technology can actually accelerate our return back to balance. And I'm very optimistic about the future for parenting. I really, really am.
Oh, I'm so happy that you say that, Michael. And we feel very strongly that that is the case. At Nanit feel very strongly about that as well. And one of the things that I just have to touch on, being a sleep scientist, is that at our core, we want all the babies in the world to be sleeping well, right? And we want parents to understand that sleep is as important to their babies as nutrition and exercise. So we started with this idea of helping parents understand sleep, so that they can more easily make decisions about their baby's sleep by just having their baby sleep data, right? Like by just seeing that data every day, seeing how long their baby slept, being able to compare that to what they did last week or last month, and just feel empowered that they know exactly how their baby is tracking, what their baby is doing, and make it easier for them to make decisions about their baby's sleep, and know that they're helping their child's development by prioritizing their sleep and just having that sleep be there as this sort of constant priority for families. And I think we've done a really nice job of doing that, and I hope that over time, and look, many people are very focused on sleep now, which is amazing, but I do think, and I'm hopeful, that over time we'll see this trend continue, where people are really understanding that that sleep is just a core part of their of their health and well-being for the whole family, not just for the babies, but also for the parents as well. So Michael, to that point, you touched on sort of mental health a little bit earlier, and I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about how Maple might be able to help the mental load for parents of running a household, which is one of the
I think
in the chat.
There's some seasoned parents on this call, so I hope I'm not like misspeaking, and certainly there's probably people whose children that are listening are older than mine. I think it was a very rude awakening when I became a parent. For a very long time you have a partner at home, it's just the two of you. Then all of a sudden you bring this new form of life in, and there's some load, and then all of a sudden they turn two, and their school schedule, social schedule, practices, the planning, the birthday parties, the doctor's appointments, the dentist, all of a sudden you become a administrative assistant to your children real quickly. And I think that it's just very taxing. And, in most cases, very sadly, I don't want to go down a dark path, but I think it has to be said, the mental load historically in heterosexual relationships has fallen on mom's shoulders. We know, according to the US Census Bureau, it's multiples greater than a man at home. Most moms are spending an hour and a half per week just meal planning for their kids, figuring out what to put in their lunchbox, figuring out what to feed them for dinner, figuring out how to grocery shop. And I think that the insane disadvantage in this situation is that in most households, still to this date, we treat the working relationship like it's 1950. And very difficult conversation to have, certainly difficult to have at 9:41 when we got only 20 minutes left, because it's a multiple hour long conversation. But our general value system is that your life at home is a partnership and your children are your life's work in that partnership. And it's really important that we say partnership, because partnership has, I think, deep-rooted meaning that we're in it together. It's a team effort. And so Maple, what makes us unique and different than anybody else is that we by default create a shared ecosystem of tooling where it doesn't fall on one person's shoulders. Right? I would survey 100 dads out here and say, how many of you have planned from top to bottom your son's birthday party? And I'm guessing most of them are going to say, or their daughter's birthday party, and most of them are going to say they have not. If we surveyed every single probably parent attending this, which I'm guessing is probably mostly women, I'm guessing 100% of them are saying that they've planned a birthday party top to bottom. And so the role that Maple plays is we want to make sure that planning, my wife and I just planned our son's birthday party with Maple Fast in 5 seconds. And I'm not joking. Right. So we're trying to reduce the volume of planning and increase the volume of participation. That's like what we're trying to get to, of spend less time planning, spend more time doing it together.
Yep.
And we need to have a systematic shift in this probably country, but every country, in terms of how we support parents at a governmental level, at a corporate level, and at a household level. And we're just we're attacking that from the bottom up at Maple.
That's amazing. I love that, Michael. I think it's just such important work, and just so important to highlight that, that disparity that continues to this day, which is kind of mind-boggling that we're in 2024 and we still see these huge disparities in what, in a typical heterosexual household, what mums are doing and what dads are doing. So I really applaud you for really trying to tackle that problem. I think it's amazing.
Well, not to interrupt you and not to overstep here, but I also want to applaud the fact that we're on a parenting panel with dads. Unfortunately, part of what's taking place right now in a growing space of family technology is that everyone wants to just think that the customer is mom.
Yeah.
And that's compounding the problem. The customer is not mom, the customer is parents. That's two people.
Right?
Michael,
thank you so much for saying that. And I think we're actually seeing in our data that moms and dads are using that just as much. And we've been very proud on really believing that, sexual, trying to bridge that gap and treat parents as parents and not.
That's right. It's a weird world we're in right now where I think everyone, this is probably the greatest era of parenting in terms of men wanting to participate in the parenting world. And so thank you for having me as a father to get to participate in this conversation, because I identify more with that. And to Tor's part, it's, I think, oddly underspoken that more men want to be involved, and that we need to start setting the expectations that there is not one customer to these products. Right?
Yeah.
If you Google imaged right now, diapers or bathing, every single image is a mom taking care of those activities. And it's just compounding, systematic problems compounding. And so thank God for companies like Nanit who are stepping up and trying to get 50-50 in the household. Thank God for companies like Maple, and thank God for this conversation. I'm happy that we've gone here.
Love it. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate it.
I can tell you for the first sentence I said that I'm creating an app for me. So so the entire thing here is voting for that.
I'm just waiting for the rebrand from Nanit to Sam, and then you're good to go.
And sometimes just a little piece of data helps you understand the entire thing and what happens, and reduces so much load from you. At Nanit, we try to do all kinds of small calculations for you, from the last time you went to bed and the last time, the last nap, for example, 3 hours, not telling you 2:22. And you say, oh, it's 2 hours and 35 minutes ago. No, I'll tell you the exact time. I'll tell you the exact time it was from the last nap. So we'll try to give you all the information you can use in order for that to make it easier for you.
Which I think is awesome. Okay, so I have another question in the chat, and I'm happy for anyone to take it. Perhaps Tor. Would love to hear anyone's thoughts on the use of AI and early childhood mental health. Giving parents access and affordability to mental health is a big benefit, but continue but curious to hear about what you all think. So Tor, do you want to tackle that one?
I can try. I can definitely try. So I think mental health in general for parents, I'll start with parents and then I'll try with children as well. I think was something that we've been talking for a long time, and especially postpartum depression. This is something that we tried to think about how can it help. We did some research around it with questionnaires. Maybe Natalie can tell more about it. But I think this is definitely something that it's like an untapped area where we should definitely focus more. And for young children, this is also something that as Nanit grows with your family and we are looking for areas where we can help toddlers. I would love to get ideas from anyone in the audience. How can we be helpful, especially in the area of mental health?
I love that, Tor. Michael, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think it was covered. I mean, I think, listen, like the unspoken dad who wants to be more involved, mental health is a real critical. I think we're living in a quiet epidemic.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of moms, sadly, in really bad shape. And there's dads in bad shape. I think that like this new shift of like you now have two jobs and the world expects you to do these two jobs. Quite honestly, it's just fucking unfair. I'm sorry to use bad language. It's just so gnarly. I've watched women all around me just battle with it. And I think that there's a really great opportunity, again, for partners to step up better to help with that. There's a great opportunity for technology to identify that. There's a great opportunity for, like, this is not like mental health goes way beyond technology problems. And so like I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a doctor, I have a hard time commenting on it. All I know is that I think that there's a quiet epidemic taking place. I think every company should lean into supporting the parents in the workforce better. And I think everyone like needs to bring more conversation around this and make it normalized that it's okay to struggle and that we just need to try to support each other better.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And, you know, from a lot of the research that we've done, you know, we can see how tightly linked infant sleep is to postpartum depression for mums and for dads. So we know that, you know, when babies are not sleeping well or when babies are waking up a lot during the night, their mums and dads are both more likely to be suffering from postpartum depression. And we've actually done some of the first work around postpartum depression in dads, or highlighted the fact that dads are also suffering from postpartum depression. It's not just something that mums are suffering from. And so it's something that we're very cognizant of and really want to do, we want to continue to be as supportive of dads as we are of mums. Because to your point, Michael, you know, as new parents, we're all expected to take on two jobs, like to be doing our old job just as well as we were before. When we're up 4 times during the night, we have a partner who's not dealing very well with the transition, trying to support your partner as well as, you know, trying to look after the baby. And it can be it can be very incredibly overwhelming. And we don't want parents to feel overwhelmed. We want them to be feeling we want them to be feeling confident and empowered, but that takes time. You know, new parenthood is, you know, incredibly challenging, and, you know, our two companies want to make it less challenging. But I'm wondering, Michael, if you can give us the top 2 features that you think Maple has, or what do you think are going to be, you know, the best things that Maple is going to be able to do for families?
Oh, well, I think one of the early mistakes that we made was trying to tell people how to run their family. That was a mistake. There's 120 million households, 60 million parents in the workforce. Everyone thinks that they know what's best for their family, and we respect their expertise of home. With 9 suites, 9 apps on our platform, we see actually a strong adoption across the board. I can tell you that the 2 key things that parents are using Maple for as a whole is just organizing their home. And that's like things like food and meal prep. And so naturally, And again, we're really excited about our Instacart announcement today because we see tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands of shopping list items be added weekly to Maple in our meal planning tool. We see on Sunday afternoon from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific, just like a tranche of parents just in the app for 30 minutes planning out their week. So I think we give people the tooling needed, not just to run and organize their home, but to create visibility into everything that's going on in their home. That's our offering today. I think long term, if you're asking me what we're going to be a leader at, my mandate at Shopify was how could you help a solopreneur compete with any size business, right? Parenting is hard for everybody, but the reality of it is some people have an augmented version of that. Some people have around them nannies, chefs, bankers, lawyers. Like there's a huge spectrum of what parenting looks like. Our job as a company, at least at the organizational planning and optimization front, is to really help parents put that bullshit on autopilot. That is literally every single day we wake up and think we're the self-driving car. We are the Tesla self-driving car for parenting on the things that you really don't need to be doing. I think you want to execute on it. I think you want to show up. I think you want to participate. But like, I shouldn't be having to spend 20 minutes a Sunday night thinking about what to feed my family for dinner on Tuesday. And my Maple should be smart enough about my calendar to make all those decisions for me. And it should just be like the bending curve is so much easier because of that. And I'm incredibly excited about those steps forward.
Yeah, I'm excited for it too. And the other thing that I love about Maple is this idea, actually, Michael, that it gives the other spouse visibility into what the other spouse is doing. As in, like, there are so many different, and I love that you use 17,000 because I use 17,000 a lot as well. There are 17,000 things in my head that I need to check off, that I need to do for all three of my kids, you know, and my husband, sort of every day and every week. But my husband doesn't see all of those things. And I like the idea that Maple can just give you that visibility to show, hang on, these are all the things that this is the load that I am taking on. And it gives parents the opportunity to better share that load, right?
I think, well, yes. First of all, if I don't mind, I don't want to overly ring our bell, but one thing I'm really proud about is when we first started this company early on, we looked at the data, about 3% of households did it together. It was small. The spouse didn't want to use it. No one wanted. Over 50% of our weekly activity now are two people working together and delegating and communicating directly in the app. So we are seeing huge shifts in collaboration. I think that, and I hope that everyone takes this to heart, is that we are all works in progress as parents. We're all work in progress as partners. And so I deeply do believe one of the missing things from society right now is grace and kindness.
Yes.
It's missing. For some reason, I don't know why we're not kind to each other as a society anymore. Again, I'm not some oracle to understand every single thing, but I do think that it's a problem that we don't show each other grace. And I think the one thing that Maple provides, again, because there's been such a lack of visibility into all these moving pieces, is there has been, and we get the emails that we get from our customers, you know, it gets me out of bed in the morning, right? And it's like, I now feel like I'm seen. And I feel like I'm getting the emotional support. And at least my spouse knows that this is fucking hard. Even if they're not participating, they at least have come with empathy to my relationship. And, you know, that stuff is really important for us as a business.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's amazing. Tor and Sam, do you have any final words of wisdom or final takeaways you want to share?
I'll just refer to like Michael's last comment. I think saying like what he said about like different people using Maple in a different way. It's very much like that for Nanit as well. We're really trying not to kind of dictate how to use the app. It has so many different angles. Some are using it, as Sam said, like to monitor their child's breathing, others for sleep, others just like to create cute memories and share with the wider family. And so I think the idea of using AI tools, but letting the users decide how to use it, I think this is the key takeaway. Keep controlling your life, but just let AI do the boring, productive things for you.
Yes, I completely agree with that. completely agree with that, and I think that the roadmap for what we're doing here at Nanit, so in Nanit, it's so exciting, and I totally relate to what Michael says. It's what brings me up to work in the morning.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. And Michael, I think we our two companies sort of both share a similar philosophy to what Tor and Sam were alluding to, is that we know that all families are different, and we want to embrace that difference. But there's still so many ways that we can be supporting all different families. So, and we want to be supportive of all of the families out there. Your baby, your family. But we hope that our AI, your AI, is just going to help you create the family that you want, and give you the time back that you need to either spend with your family, or spend with by yourself, or spend with with other loved ones. So that's sort of our general goal, to be supportive of parents. But I just wanted to take just a minute or two just to thank everyone for participating today. And there was a lot of questions in the chat, and I'm sorry that we didn't get to all of them, but it was such a lovely conversation. I'm just so grateful to Michael for sharing your thoughts and your time with us. We know you're incredibly busy, and we're excited to see where Maple goes in the coming years, and we have no doubt it will be incredibly successful. And our amazing Sam and amazing Tor, always great to see you and have you on. But I just wanted to say a huge thanks to everyone for joining, taking an hour out of your day, and to our amazing panelists. It was an incredible conversation. I'm really grateful to all of you, so thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It was amazing, and thank you for building Nanit. I was a customer of Nanit before I was a founder of Maple, so this was like a surreal. I told my wife I was coming on this thing. I never talked to her about the stuff I'm doing at Lights of Panel. She was like, "What?" So it was an honor. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thanks, Michael. We appreciate it. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.